Hey there. When does weight gain become detrimental to one's health? For meeting for the first time, my name is Summer Mai. I'm a physical therapist, a mom, an athlete, and health and wellness enthusiast. I help people help people with the health and wellness goals. So today is part of a 5-day series. And if you're, I'm streaming to multiple platforms here. So if you're hopping on through YouTube, feel free to subscribe to my channel and smash that bell button so that you can be notified as to when I upload a new video. So like I said, today is part 3 of a 5-day weight loss training series. And if you haven't caught the first 2 videos, catch those videos before, after you watch this one. So if you're hopping in, let me know that you're hopping in live. I would love to give you a shout out. And today we're going to be talking about when weight gain becomes detrimental to your health. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes, and I do want to make sure I give you all the information that I have, and that's why I have notes today. So while it is healthy to have a certain amount of fat, both subcutaneous and visceral fat, which we talked about in yesterday's video, having too much of either one can be detrimental to one's health, particularly if it's visceral fat. So subcutaneous fat is not necessarily detrimental to one's health, not as dangerous as visceral fat, but it can be, having too much fat can lead to immobility. You have difficulty moving, and then with increased weight, you also have you can have joint pain of your knees and ankles and hips and your low back. So, and that pain can make it challenging for someone to want to move around. And it becomes a vicious circle where you have this weight, and then you have pain of the joints associated with the pain, and then you have a hard time moving around due to the pain because you don't want to move. But then because you don't move, that can cause more pain, and that can cause more immobility. So it's really having that subcutaneous fat is detrimental in that sense. With regards to visceral fat, that's even more detrimental to one's health because it can affect your hormone production and also affect other things in your body that I'm going to get into right now. So we talked about in the last video how visceral fat, when you have too much of it, presses on your organs because it's in the abdominal wall, it's in your abdominal cavity, the organs, as well as the visceral fat. And when you start to accumulate that fat, the organs really don't necessarily have too much space to go to. So there's a that causes, the visceral fat causes increased pressure to the abdominal cavity. And increased pressure on the organs. So that can lead to increased risk for heart disease. It can lead to increased risk for high blood pressure and increased risk for stroke. So in that sense, that's how one of the ways that visceral fat is detrimental to one's health. Another way is when visceral fat can also have an effect on the production of hormones. So, for example, men and women, we all have testosterone and a certain amount of estrogen. Just women at certain points in their lives have more estrogen than men, and then for men, they have more testosterone than women. And then testosterone, though, when you have enough of it and have good levels of it, can actually help with not having so much belly which makes it challenging for women who have estrogen because that leads to belly fat storage. So with visceral fat can actually decrease the production of testosterone in men and then also increase the hormone production of estradiol in men as well. And that can cause your fat to sit in your belly and cause more belly fat to develop. So it's really important to keep the visceral fat and the subcutaneous fat at bay. But that's really particularly why visceral fat is more detrimental to your health than subcutaneous fat, and why you need to be concerned about it. Visceral fat can also lead to insulin resistance, which can lead to glucose intolerance and development of type 2 diabetes. And what does type 2 diabetes can lead to increased risk for heart disease as well, increased risk for stroke, and increased risk for blood pressure. Diabetes can cause nerve damage throughout the body. But as a physical therapist, I've seen it affect people in their, particularly their hands and their feet, causing pain, causing decreased sensitivity. People have stepped on tacks and have had not even realize it, have come into the hospital with infections, and because they can't feel the tack on their foot, but then they start to get a fever and then have to be hospitalized. And then that's when doctors see, oh, wow, they stepped on a tack because they had the diabetes. They couldn't feel in their feet. And that subsequently can lead to systemic infection. It can also lead to potential amputation. So really, and diabetes can also lead to as well kidney damage and eye damage, which can lead to blindness. So as you can see, having the visceral fat is really not a good thing. So we want to really keep it at bay. On Friday, I'm actually going to be talking about how to help decrease fat so that you can have a better lifestyle, you can have better health, and to stay out of the hospital. As a physical therapist, it's my biggest, I'm in the local hospital system, and it's my biggest goal to be able to not see you in the hospital, but I want to see you out in the community and well. Of course, I'm going to see you in the hospital and help you there, but I would love to see a smile on your face, that you're well and that you're able to move around and be functional and live a good lifestyle outside of the hospital and in the community. So tomorrow, return back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to be talking about why it's so hard to lose weight. So I hope you got value from this today. If you did, comment below, what was your biggest takeaway today? And, return back tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you then. All right. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.